Okay, folks, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. UFC 280 Best Bets by yours truly, Jake Noacker, and my tapped out host, Brendan Tobin down in Miami. Brendan, how you doing, my mans?
What up, dude? Miss you.
I know, miss you too. For those who don't know, Tapped Out got canned for the fall. We're back on in December. I don't know. We'll release these videos and other nonsense until then. But yeah, dude, good to see you again.
I know,
great.
man. I'm jonesing for fights. Like,
Dude, such a good card.
The fight nights were cute, but I guess this is what I'm talking about coming up this weekend.
Well, and dude, with like my wedding, another wedding I went to, the honeymoon, last week was the first freaking live UFC card I watched since September 10th. So my itch is seriously on because last week wasn't that amazing.
I'm not gonna even lie. I was like all boxing last week, so I wasn't even into the card because it was like Wilder was fighting, Clarissa Shields was fighting, Haney was fighting, so I wasn't even tapped in. But this one is a monster.
We've been talking about this card for like 3 or 4 months, and it's finally here. So
yep.
I just hope there's no nonsense this week. Hope it all plays out.
That is true.
With such a card, I'll be nice to everyone who's watching. Let's start at the top with the most exciting fight. The main event, Charles Oliveira coming in at a plus 135 underdog at the moment against Islam Makhachev, minus 165 favorite. I mean, you know how I feel about this fight. I've been on Charles since he was a plus 180 underdog, but I do want to pose this question, which I've asked you before, but we're during fight week now. How does Islam win this fight? What paths to victory does he have?
I just gotta feel like if he does, it's got to be just a case of, look, he's gonna do something to Charles that hasn't been done, which is maul him on the ground, and that he's just that much more advanced with whatever Dagestani Khabib super strength that he has, and is going to be able to hold him down in a position where he's not in danger. And it probably doesn't look, very pleasing to the eye, I would think, because if he gets in any of these scrambles, if this ends up in any kind of striking exchange, like, hey, Charles Oliveira is a dog, man. Like, he's gone out here out of all these fights, and I mean, I certainly feel like I was late to the train that he was that good, but after him beating Poirier, I was just like, all right, there's really nothing else this guy has to show me, and he's the man right now. I don't understand a guy getting disrespected like this against, Islam. I know Islam is the darling of a lot of people in the MMA community, and everybody thinks that he is the heir to the Khabib throne.
Sure.
But I mean, dude, like, there's just, and Khabib was a little like this too in his career, to be fair. Like, he didn't get his flowers until late between injuries and, not really getting up against anybody other than RDA. But I don't know, man. I just feel like disrespecting Charles is a big mistake, and I feel like if I'm getting him at plus money, how do you not love that?
Yeah, dude, and the odds have closed too. Like I said, he opened at a plus 180. He's already down to like a plus 130. If Islam goes out there and wins, if he does it in Dagestani style, I won't be surprised, right? That's kind of what everyone is expecting of him. I just have such a hard time believing that he is going to do that based on what we have seen from both of these gentlemen, right? Islam's never beat a top 5 opponent in the UFC. A lot of people hold that against him. I'm one of them. Maybe that doesn't matter come Saturday night. But if you look at Charles Oliveira, he has almost knocked out Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Michael Chandler, right? He has the most submissions in UFC history. And somebody on Twitter earlier, my friend Bobby, stinking Redskins fan or Commanders fan, he asked me, how many submissions does Charles Oliveira have off his back? Which is a great question in this fight because we presumably think Oliveira is going to be on his back underneath of Islam. The answer to that, 4 submissions off of his back in his professional career, 1 in his only amateur fight. But the interesting thing about this is 4 of his rear naked chokes in the UFC have all started from bottom position that he either had a sweep or a transition, just like with Justin Gaethje. So I just don't see enough avenues for Islam to win this fight. I think he's better, or I think Charles is better on the feet. I think he's the best BJJ practitioner in possibly all of MMA.
Right.
I don't think Islam's going to be able to lay on top of him or hold him against the cage for 25 minutes.
I don't either. And I think the other thing that's interesting about it, I saw, Khabib kind of talking him up this week and saying, well, he's a quitter. He's quit fights before, and that's going to always be in him. And I do think, like, look, if you want to play the head games of that kind of stuff, like, Charles Oliveira, some of the, fair or not, like the weight cutting issues and missing weight, that was a previous problem. And obviously he lost his belt over it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some of that stuff is always in you, but I also have to think that for a guy who's been in the UFC as long as he has and has that experience, now that you look at the murderer's row that he's been through, I just feel like that's so valuable. And Islam is not going to have any of that to lean on. And then some of it's not his fault. Like, look, he's been preparing for fights and guys have fallen out. And so, that sucks. Like that's not on his doing that he hasn't gotten to get in there with the top 5 guy yet. We were all excited for him versus Dariush, didn't get it. Yep. It doesn't mean he can't do it. Like you said, I think we're all believers of his talent. I just don't know about it against this particular guy who's kind of been through everything.
Yeah, I agree, man. You said it great right there. And like I said, like you just said, Islam is expected to win this fight. So he better go out there and ragdoll Charles and become the next Khabib. If he doesn't, oh man, I hope Charlie Olives calls out Khabib and we get that fight.
Oh, me too, dude. Like look, if there's anything that could do it now, I don't know if that's Oliveira's style, if he's going to want to do something like that, but man, like, yeah, absolutely. Like that feels like the only shot. I don't even know if that's enough because I'm sure Khabib's pretty happy on with his life and out and all that, but
he's like 200 pounds too.
Dude, I'm telling you, I haven't seen him in a while, but the last time I saw him down here, he was beefy.
Yeah. But we'll see, man. A crazy main event regardless. Can't wait. And if something does happen to one of those fighters, we get Mr. Alexander Volkanovski stepping in anyway. So
I know. And Dana said this week, he said that he's going to get the winner no matter what, right? Like, so good on Alexander Volkanovski. He did everything he had to do with that Holloway. He's been wanting to go up here. He earned it. He earned it. And I think that's a really cool thing that he's going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, man. Lightweight division has some fireworks coming up starting on Saturday night, or I guess Saturday afternoon. So don't miss it. Let's move down here to another exciting fight. Somehow not on the main event. Going to go with the Philly theme here because the Sixers play tonight. We're going to go Bilal Muhammad at +120 versus Sean Brady -145. And even though I'm talking about Philly, I'm picking against my man Sean Brady. I'm going with Bilal.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
I'm going with Bilal Muhammad. And look, some of this has to do with my stupid heart insurance, but Bilal's last 2 fights, an underdog, won them both, flying colors, easily controlling it. I'm done doubting Bilal. I love Sean Brady. I hope he wins, but a little bit of my money will be on the Bilal side here. Tell me why I'm crazy.
First of all, you're rooting for Bilal Muhammad, which
not
is
rooting for Bilal.
He's a nice individual, but he's maybe the most boring fighter in the UFC.
For sure.
Like, second of all, like, dude, this is his moment, Sean Brady. Like, I even like Sean Brady. I know, me and Philly, like, we're not exactly like the best of friends, but I remember seeing Sean Brady at the Hard Rock on like some little ass card, and he had his whole CFFC, Philly contingent there. And I just, I think this is his time. I feel like he's going to go in here. This is like, you're on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. You're going up against a guy everybody thinks is, solid, durable, gets wins. That's all seemingly what Bilal Muhammad does. But I just like the upside of Sean Brady. And, I'm clearly like the fat is there and the word is out on him because he is the favorite. I would feel like with Bilal's resume, he's probably more deserving of the dog. So I get maybe going the value there, but dude, that's going against your guy. I can't believe that.
So look, when me and my buddies are on my couch enjoying this fight, we're going to all be cheering for Sean Brady. Okay. But like you just said, it's the value for me. This fight is dog or pass. Whoever is the dog here would see some of my money. It just happens to be Bilal. Both these guys are incredible grapplers. And a lot of the times that happens, the grappling kind of cancels out. 2 things about that. One, I don't think Bilal, no matter what, is going to stop going for the crotch and the takedowns. I think he's going to be relentless with it no matter what happens, how many times he's stuffed by Brady. 2, I worry that Bilal's experience against strikers like Vicente Luque, Leon Edwards, Wonderboy is going to be a big issue for Sean Brady, who hasn't seen that kind of experience yet. We saw Sean Brady struggle a few minutes in his fight against Michael Chiesa on the feet. So my big question is Sean Brady's striking training with John Marquez in Philadelphia going to be enough to overcome Bilal Muhammad? I hope so. My heart, my brain, everything's saying, let's go, Sean. My wallet's just saying, underdog on Bilal a little bit.
Man, your heartless wallet. I can't believe that.
Heartless
wallet. Tell him, man. Listen, if we ever get him on the show, I won't let him know that you
please
were rats off a ship on him. Like I won't throw you under the bus like that. But geez.
Yeah, I'm in
like Philly's moment here, dude.
Like I said, 6-0 Eagles. Phillies in the almost in the World Series, you know, Sixers tonight, Sean Brady this weekend. Everything's panning out for the Brady W.
Because what is Bilal ranked right now? What is he, 5?
I
4?
don't have it in front of me. I think he's
Let's
5
see.
or 4 right now.
Because if Sean wins this, dude, like he's off to the races. Like
Oh, yeah.
this
is his win.
This is the real deal. So right now, welterweight, Bilal's 5, Sean is 8.
Yeah, I mean, Sean wins that, he's top 5 like that, you know.
Yep.
And geez, once Usman and Leon get their shenanigans figured out, Sean Brady in there will be very exciting.
Who do you think, if he does win, who would you like to see Sean go up against next? Because that's a top 5. That's like, I mean, I'm sure we all know Hamzat's on deck.
You know what I'm going to say. I want him to beat your boy Masvidal up.
Yeah, but he's not going to fight. Like, why would he call out Masvidal?
Easy fight, a lot of eyes on it.
I understand that.
But Hamzat versus Brady would be a crazy fight.
Hamzat apparently him versus Colby would be crazy.
Colby would be a good fight too.
Gilbert.
Any top 5 fighter for Sean Brady, I am 100% invested into. I
feel bad wanting Bilal out of the top 5 just because I hate watching.
He's boring, man. I mean, great guy, you know, but his style is not fan friendly, and
he's like this days and age, like obviously not the same disciplines, but he's like this day and age as Damian Maia.
Totally. And he ragdolled Damian Maia in the grappling department too. So I got to assume he's going to be able to hold his own against Brady. But regardless, let's go Philly. Hope Sean gets the W. While it's saying, Jake, you're an idiot. So we'll see how it plays out. While we're talking boring fighters in Bilal Muhammad, let's go to a very boring fight on this card. A lot of people would say, because Caitlin Chookagian, the decision queen, is coming in as a plus 160 underdog against Manon Fiorot, who is a minus 200. I have been on Chookagian in pretty much all of her UFC fights. Big fan, Pennsylvania fighter, met her a few times, and she has a great fighting style. She manages distance so well. She's not necessarily the most dangerous striker, but great at getting decisions, great at controlling 15 minutes of a fight. And she just got her black belt under a Matt Serra prodigy too. So I think she's going to be ready here. My thing with Fiorot is I have a very hard time backing a minus 200 in a fight that's like your proving fight, you know? This is if Manuel wins this fight, yes, she's probably in line next for the title. But this is also by far her most experienced fight yet. So I think there's a lot of question marks there, and I'm going to throw a little bit on my Pennsylvania dog, Chookagian.
Yeah, I don't have a lot on Mannion, but I think that I'm with you with Caitlin. Like, I feel like she's always kind of in this position where people are kind of like throwing her as the proven. She's been there forever.
Yes.
You get the value on that. I think that's solid analysis from your part.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dust off my shoulders there. So yeah, as you noticed, I just went with 3 underdogs for my picks. Did that last week too. Went 2 for 4. Hopefully we go 2 for 3 this week. I do have a parlay though. You know, I always say pretty surefire, and whenever I say that, it fails. So I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say I have a parlay, but I like it a lot. Piotr Yan, however you want to say it, coming in as a minus 275 favorite against O'Malley, who's plus 225. Carol Rosa versus Lena Landsberg. Rosa is also a minus 275. Landsberg is plus 210. Combine Yan and Rosa, it's a minus 117 parlay. That's my range.
So you're not buying the sugar show. You don't think this is his...
I love O'Malley. Big fan. If O'Malley knocks out Yan, I'm going to be going crazy, even if I lose money. But no, I can't, man. He opened as a plus 375 underdog. The hype has got him down to a plus 225. But, dude, Yan was a minus 500. I was like, I'm not touching this fight. No point. Yan's a minus 275. That's a beautiful parlay piece. I hope I'm wrong, man. I hope Sugar goes out there and dices him up. I just don't see it happening.
I mean, like, this is the interesting thing, because O'Malley has handled his career like a boxer. We had him on the morning, my show this week, and he, he's just like, look, I just wasn't going to take big fights if I didn't get paid. So
brilliant.
It's an interesting thing, because he's definitely one of the most famous UFC fighters, but we've all been dying for him to take this fight. I'm honestly surprised he is taking it, because I would have figured with what happened the last time around with the eye poke and everybody kind of mad at him that, all right, he was going to run it back with Munoz or something like that, and still slow rolled a little bit, because this division's a buzzsaw. The fact that he is taking it, it almost like, I don't know, it puts this level of confidence I have in him, because I think I was like, oh, we're going to just be waiting forever for Sean O'Malley to take the hard fight. And I don't know. I do think that with Yan, we have seen a guy who can make mistakes in fights.
Start slow.
starts slow.
Mhm.
And I do think that, as the fight goes, it's only a 3-rounder too, because it's not a title fight, not main event. So, I think that could be something that would give me some pause against Jan.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like this I almost feel like a guy, I want this to be the payoff for Sean O'Malley. Like, after all this time, like, let's go. Like, that now we're off to the races. He'd get a title shot against whoever wins the bantamweight title that night. But I get it. I would get the hesitancy. Like, you have Jan, he's been the champ, he's been number one up there, he's been in there with absolute killers, and Sean is not.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, dude, like O'Malley, a big fan, would love if he got the dub. I do think this fight kind of has, and I think that's just because we're making it this way, because Dana said the winner of this fight gets the title shot. So I think this fight has kind of like Conor and Jose Aldo vibes. Tell me if I'm crazy, but that's an avenue I see O'Malley winning, because he has handled his career very similar to McGregor, very similar to boxing stars, as you said. A lot of people give him a lot of crap for that, but dude, he's fought like one top 10 opponent, and now he's got a title eliminating fight. So say what you will, but he's doing it right.
But his loss doesn't look nearly as bad now, because Cheeto's amazing. Like, Cheeto is out there head kicking everybody to hell, and is also like, this is, I honestly think this division's taken the crown from lightweight. I think that it's the best one going, and
Jack Shore's out.
Yeah,
I'm going to featherweight.
I think it's an absolute monster, but the best thing I think for the UFC is, like, all right, Sean O'Malley has his moment that comes out of this card, and look, that's always the best thing, is when is the next thing going to be there for the UFC. So
yeah,
I don't know if the vibe, I don't know if the vibe has really caught on Charles Oliveira yet as being a superstar. I think us as huge fans, and we'll tune into any fight that he's doing, but
sure,
if they could come out of this weekend probably with Islam winning and being the belt holder, and Sean O'Malley being the next in line for a championship, I think that ultimately, if you had to ask Dana and give him truth serum, that's probably what he wants.
That's what's going to sell the most. If you talk stylistically about this Jan and O'Malley fight, though, that's what concerns me about O'Malley, because like I said, I think there's some vibes here. Something crazy could happen. Love the Sugar Show. But if you really break it down, dude, Jan's pretty much better everywhere, unfortunately. I mean, he's a crazy Muay Thai practitioner, trains with Fiziev all the time. Great wrestling, great BJJ. I mean, Aljo controlled his back for a round, but that was really all I could do against him. So I just don't see a lot of avenues. That's what I've been talking about this video, avenues to win. I don't think Sean has enough of them. I think if Jan starts slow, Sean puts it on him, take a round or two, sure. But dude, for a fact, Jan is the smartest fighter O'Malley has fought, and Jan is going to go for those legs so hard. I'm almost predicting a leg kick TKO by Jan here. We'll see.
And he's sensitive about that stuff too. Like, if a guy has got injuries there, it would be smart by Jan to do that. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I think in my my hope is that the Sugar Show has his moment this weekend.
I hope so too. My heart and my head are very differently than my wallet this weekend. But I just can't resist a -275 Jan odds for a parlay. Too big to play single. That's why we're going to throw Carol Rosa in there. We just talk about her real quick. I have heard this from a buddy on the timeline. I believe it was Manpreet, Lock of the Night, as you know, said, or no, maybe it was Dan. I think it was Dan from Best Fight Picks. Anyways, they said Rosa is going to look like the biggest favorite on the card. Did my research, fully agree. Just the statistic I always bring up that UFC actually put on the broadcast last week is fighters with a 12+ year age differential on the younger side win at a 70% clip. Got to take that into account here. Lena Landsberg's 40 years old. Rosa's 27. I also just think Rosa's better all around, grappling, striking, power. Landsberg in her recent fights, as much as I like her, she looks like a burnt 40-year-old.
Plus, you're king of the curtain jerker. You love the first fight of the night. You love.
Is that the first one of the night?
That's what it says at Wikipedia, at least.
That's probably accurate, because it's not the most exciting fight of the night. But yeah, I think Rosa Jan parlay -117. Hit it early, probably go up to like -130, -140. But that's all I got on my end. I'm just super stoked.
No co-main? You got nothing, like no thoughts on Aljo versus TJ?
Let me hear yours. That was my question.
I mean, like, look, man, I don't know. I think that everybody hates TJ. He's the bad guy. But I feel like if there's anybody hates more, it's Aljamain Sterling. I think he's nobody's been more hated as a champion than this guy, which is kind of a strange thing.
Did you see his Twitter drama this week too, Aljo?
I did.
He's getting even more hate. It's just like
He just
snake versus hate.
Yeah, there's just like a maturity thing there with him. Like he's a fun guy to interview and things like that, but there's just like just kind of shut up and get out of your own way. Like I feel like I wouldn't be fighting with strangers on the opinions of social media champion. Because I took a picture with who the hell's the guy that he got with? Is it Tate? Andrew Tate. Yeah, I'm like, I kind of halfsies know why he's hated. I know he got banned from like all of social media. He used to be a fighter. And like, all right, you took a picture with somebody who a lot of people hate. Just kind of move on. I don't know why you got to sit there defending everything that guy said. Because why are you defending what the problems that guy has had? I don't know.
You pulled yourself into it.
So yeah, that to me is a little worrisome. But I think for TJ, I guess it's just a question of like, is 36 years old? Is it still there? I mean, look, him versus Corey Sandhagen. He's still looking like after all that time, looked really, really good. And that's a tough dude that he took out in Corey. I really think that like I think Corey's championship good, even though, he's come up just shy.
And I had Corey winning that fight, but you're right. TJ looked amazing and he did win the fight. And I don't know if you've seen the picture he put on Instagram today, dude. He's shredded, and he's going up against Aljo, who's probably the most shredded man in the UFC. So this is going to be straight, just 6% muscle mass on 6% muscle mass. Bantamweight's throwing down. Very excited. I am taking.
I feel like if I was TJ though, I would probably just go with like no shirtless pictures. I feel like I would get everybody to try and forget about the suspension. Out, just be like, I'll just be like, you know what? This is just me. I just wear sweatshirts and then just come out on weigh-in day, just so nobody mentions the whole EBO thing. But you know what? I thought that was a stupid thing for him to ever go down flyweight anyway. This is his home. This is where I thought that he was the best in the world. And I like him. I like him in this fight coming up tomorrow or coming up on Saturday. It's a fun one, man. And he's the dog in this one. I feel like, having TJ Dillashaw in this division and how talented he is and the guys he's been in there with. And, Aljo, he's good, but I don't know. People have just not been as convinced as probably they should be with his talent. But
yeah. I mean, if Aljo gets sparked this weekend, I'll be a very happy boy. I'm not touching this fight betting wise. I don't think, maybe like an over, depending on what that hits. But no, I'm rooting for TJ, but I think Aljo gets it done. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's a great fight, great card all around. There's really not even the boring fights I'm excited for because I'm putting some money down on them. But I'm just happy it's here, man. UFC 280. We literally been waiting for this card. We've been talking about this card on Tapped Out for like 3 or 4 months now.
I know, this is crazy. It's here, and I'm excited for it, man.
Yes, sir. And thank you for joining me, Brendan. Appreciate it, dude. Miss you. Like we said, we're going to do this again next week with Sean Levine.
I'm not backing out of our bet, by the way. Like, listen, I had to take into account Tua gets hurt. I mean, like I have to know it, but
the ratio is still close too, because Jalen Hurts just runs everything in the end zone. He doesn't throw many touchdowns. I think he has 5 touchdowns this year.
Look, I just need him back in my football life. I'm tired of Teddy Bridgewater.
They're saying this week, right?
Yes, he should be back. He's coming back for revenge on Brian Flores. Very much.
There you go. Tua's back. Eagles are undefeated going into the bye week, and Joel Embiid's going to slam on the peeps tonight. And I drafted Tyler Hero in my fantasy league just for you.
He's going to have a big year, man.
Oh,
he looks good. He looks like he's going to start going to the rack a lot more. I think that I can't wait. I can't wait to be in the building tomorrow night.
Lucky boy. NBA's back. MMA's back. Eagles are killing it. Dolphins got Tua back. What a week in sports. PT, thank you so much for joining me. Can't wait. UFC 280 coming up October 22nd, starting 10 a.m. Eastern time. Peace out, BT.
Yeah, dude.